Runes yet it breathes, pulse sings. Caged seeps into. Munker of 4 ozone and ancient millennia of bloodstones. Miraak's whisper screams fuel a Daedric Apocrypha's engine purpose. Dragonborn. Stone walls bleed ancient script. Runes pulse like a caged heartbeat. 4 millennia of Miraak screams fuel a Daedric engine, his soul twisted into a conduit, not exile, not justice. A weapon forged in silence, coiled to shatter the world's spine. What wakes when the Thu'um is loosed? Runes yet it breathes, caged seeps into book of heartbeat Cain, Munker of 4 ozone and ancient millennia of blood, celestial a Thu'um no justice, humming to his life's soul twisted into a conduit. Miraak's roar shatters in the dark, each syllable siphoned to fuel a prison that feeds on defiance. The first Dragonborn did not betray the Idre only, the cult's gilded lies. Hermaeus Mora's architects bound him not for sin, but for potential, a soul cord to strike the world's spine. Imagine the moment the Daedra realized his voice could unmake reality. They did, they locked him in a cathedral of suffering, each century a tuning of the strings. Miraak's rebellion was never about freedom, it was the ignition of a weapon. And in the quiet between heartbeats, the Thu'um whispers, *, you were never the prisoner, you are the hammer, the anvil, the crack in the sky, *. The stone breathes, cold seeps into Miraak's bones, a frost that gnaws not with time but with purpose. Hermaeus Mora's prison is no tomb, it is a crucible. Apocrypha's walls pulse with sigils glowing like trapped starlight, their runes feeding on his voice, his rage, his soul *. He screams the Thu'um and the prison * hungers *. Stone ripples, reshaping itself, binding his power into its fabric. Each syllable he utters becomes a thread woven into the prison's spine. He does not sleep, does not rest. The air reeks of ozone and ash, a metallic tang clinging to his tongue. For centuries, his voice cracks the silence, a drumbeat of defiance. The Daedric prince watches, not with malice, but with the detachment of a scholar calibrating variables. Miraak's pain is data, his fury, a catalyst. The Thu'um, once wild, now bends to the prison's will * warped *, not subdued. A moment, the first time the Thu'um fractures the ceiling. Light spills in, not from the sky, but from Miraak's own throat. The sound is a physical thing, a spear that splits stone and weaves through the air like a living serpent. Hermaeus Mora's agents faceless, featureless observe, they do not intervene, they * record *. The Dragonborn's voice is not being punished, it is being * perfected *. He was never the experiment, he is the experiment. * the thought coils in Miraak's mind like smoke. His body is a vessel, his will a hammer shaping the Thu'um into something sharper, deadlier. The Daedric prince's design is clear, a weapon that does not need a wielder. A power that exists to be unleashed. 4 millennia pass. The prison's edges blur. Miraak's voice grows quiet, not from weariness but from understanding. He is the keystone, the fuse. The breath before the storm, and when the world above stirs, it will not find a prisoner. It will find a * trigger *. The stone breathes, cold seeps into Miraak's bones, a frost that gnaws not with time but with purpose. Hermaeus Mora's prison is no tomb, it is a crucible. Apocrypha's walls pulse with sigils that glow like trapped starlight, their runes feeding on his voice, his rage, his * soul *. He screams the Thu'um and the prison * hungers *. Stone ripples, reshaping itself, binding his power into its fabric. Each syllable he utters becomes a thread woven into the prison's spine. He does not sleep, does not rest. The air reeks of ozone and ash, a metallic tang that clings to his tongue. For centuries, his voice cracks the silence, a drumbeat of defiance. The Daedric prince watches, not with malice, but with the detachment of a scholar calibrating variables. Miraak's pain is data, his fury, a catalyst. The Thu'um, once wild, now bends to the prison's will * warped *, not subdued. A moment, the first time the Thu'um fractures the ceiling. Light spills in, not from the sky, but from Miraak's own throat. The sound is a physical thing, a spear that splits stone and weaves through the air like a living serpent. Hermaeus Mora's agents faceless, featureless observe, they do not intervene, they * record *. The Dragonborn's voice is not being punished, it is being * perfected *. He was never the experiment, he is the experiment. * the thought coils in Miraak's mind like smoke. His body is a vessel, his will a hammer shaping the Thu'um into something sharper, deadlier. The Daedric prince's design is clear, a weapon that does not need a wielder. A power that exists to be unleashed. 4 millennia pass. The prison's edges blur. Miraak's voice grows quiet, not from weariness but from understanding. He is the keystone, the fuse. The breath before the storm, and when the world above stirs, it will not find a prisoner. It will find a asterisk trigger asterisk. The walls of Apocrypha breathe. Miraak's shadow stretches across their obsidian face. Behind him, the mortal world fades. Ahead, Hermaeus Mora's voice coils like a serpent. Asterisk, your Thu'um will outlive the stars. Asterisk, Miraak's throat pulses. He knows the cost. The dragon cult's betrayal still scars his soul. He was not fleeing shame. He is chasing a lever strong enough to bend the gods. The Thu'um rises not a roar, but a whisper. It stitches his ribs to the stone. The prison does not bind him. It asterisk becomes asterisk him. Miraak does not hear the screams, not at first. They are his own. Then they are the walls. Then they are a language older than time, reshaping Apocrypha's void into a crucible. Hermaeus Mora watches. He does not weep. He does not smile. He is not a god of mercy. 4,000 years. The Thu'um festers. The prison's geometry warps. Miraak's voice is no longer his. It is a fuse, a battery. A wound that never clots. The Daedric prince's design was never redemption. Apocrypha is a forge. Miraak is the anvil. And every scream, every syllable of his stolen power etches a new command into the world's bones. Why would Hermaeus Mora nurture a traitor? Not to punish, to perfect. The Thu'um is not a weapon, it is a asterisk key asterisk. In Apocrypha's walls, they are the lock. When the Dragonborn rises, when the ancient harmonies align, Miraak's torment will not end. It will asterisk speak asterisk. The first Dragonborn did not betray the dragons, he betrayed himself. His choice was not sin, it was science, and the experiment, it is still waiting, waiting to sing. But to understand what happens next, you must grasp what they gave up. Apocrypha's walls do not hold Miraak the harvest him. His roars feed the prison's hunger, twisting his soul into a keystone for a Thu'um-powered engine. The Daedra did not punish a traitor, they cultivated a weapon. And every scream that echoes through that cursed void is not despair, it is a fuse waiting to burn. The walls of Apocrypha are not stone, they are bone, cold, hollow, and pulsing with a sickly bioluminescence that bleeds green through fractured cracks. Miraak's voice carves itself into these ribs, each syllabic scream a chisel, each roar a hammer. The air reeks of iron and ozone, as if the prison bleeds its own anguish. For 4,000 years, Hermaeus Mora's scholars have listened. They map the fractures, testing how far a single word can bend space before the structure collapses. The last Dragonborn entered not as savior, but as scalpel. Their boots left no footprints in the glassy dust that coats the floor. The Thu'um they carried was not a weapon, but a key until Miraak's trapped voice lashed out, twisting the air into razored gales. The battle was not of strength, but of will, a Dragonborn's cry to shatter chains, against a traitor's roar to preserve them. When the final word fell, it left a crater in the floor and a silence that stank of burnt honey. Miraak's agony did not end, it deepened. Hermaeus Mora's experiments required suffering to fuel the Thu'um's weaponization. Every scream etched new runes into the walls, every breath a data point. The Daedric prince did not imprison Miraak for sin, he imprisoned him for potential. What is a soul if not a conduit? What is a prison if not a battery? The lover misidentified in Tamriel's histories, a red herring, the legion drowned at Rurken's wake, a spill of collateral. The true cost is here, in this vault where time rots like a festering wound. In the final moment before Oblivion, Miraak saw the truth. His rebellion had not defied the divines, it had fed a greater hunger. The first Dragonborn's prison was never meant to change the world. It was meant to asterisk become asterisk the world. The stone of Apocrypha reeks of burnt ash and iron. Its walls are no longer stone but scaleless shifting, wet, alive. Each pulse of Miraak's Thu'um forces them to gape, revealing fangs of raw starlight. The air hums with static, a sound like 1,000 throats trying to scream. Hermaeus Mora does not whisper here. The tower asterisk breathes asterisk. Miraak's shadow stretches across the floor, but it moves asterisk toward asterisk him, not away. It coils like a serpent, its eyes hollow pits of smoldering blue. He tries to speak his own name, no sound escapes. His voice is a river dammed by the Oribus itself. The towers prop up reality, yet this one asterisk eats asterisk it. Walls drip not with water but with memorous glimpses of civilizations Miraak never walked, languages he never spoke, all siphoned through his throat like fuel. A door appears. Not carved, not opened, it asterisk unfolds asterisk, petals of black crystal revealing a void beyond. Miraak is pulled toward it, not by chains but by the weight of his own breath. The experiment demands output. His Thu'um becomes a bridge, a noose, a fuse. He feels the other towers shudder. One flickers red in the distance at the Tower of Herma. Reality is a thread and Miraak is the needle. What does it mean to be a god if your prayers are stolen? Hermaeus Mora does not care for souls. It cares for asterisk leverage asterisk. Miraak's divinity was never a gift, it was a prototype. The first Dragonborn's prison is a forge. His agony forges a weapon no hand can wield, a Thu'um that does not speak truth but asterisk rewrites asterisk it. The towers are anchors, Apocrypha is a blade. And Miraak is the crack in the world's skull. His roar fractures time. The Oribus leans in, something in the void stirs, it smells of paradox and possibility. It smells of victory. The last Dragonborn did not free Miraak, he shattered a mirror. Apocrypha's walls were not divine, were a Daedric forge. For 4,000 years, Miraak's soul was clamped like a key in a vault, his thumb siphoned to power a weapon no tongue names. The Black Book asterisk Allmaker Stones asterisk was not escape, it was a feedback loop, a scream trapped in a loop, the prison's gears still turn. Shattered obsidian corridors hum with stolen dragon fire. Miraak's return to Solstheim in 201 was not rebellion, it was the experiment's final phase. The Daedric princes never sought to punish. They sought to asterisk harvest asterisk, to mold a thumb that could unmake the Oribus, atom by atom. His roar in Apocrypha was never his own. It was the weapon's trigger, dormant until the last Dragonborn's blood cracked the seal. Now the thumb leaks, not as power, as rot. The Allmaker stones are not relics. They are pressure valves. What happens when a prison built to weaponize a god begins to fail? The answer lies in the silence after Miraak's name is spoken. The Oribus leans in, the void hums, and somewhere a lock clicks. The lock was not a judgment, it was a circuit. Hermaeus Mora did not, Miraak calibrated a conduit. 4,000 years of dragon soul feedback loops, a thumb reactor ticking in the void. The tribunal had siphoned Lorkhan's heart to forge their thrones. Mora repurposed a heart to forge a weapon. Both acts, thefts of creation's code. Red Mountain's ash still whispers of the tribunal's synod, a rebellion but a prototype. They did not kill Lorkhan, they unplugged him. His divinity, that raw Ethereum, was rerouted to power their realms. Mora's prison is the same alchemy, refined. Miraak's soul, that first Dragonborn's engine, was not purged for defiance. It was archived, a living script to rewrite the laws of unmaking. What separates mortal greed from Daedric ambition? The tribunal wore crowns, Mora wears equations. One trio stole godhood as a resource, one Lich King weaponizes it as a function. The heart of Lorkhan was not sacred, it was a battery. And Miraak, screaming in Apocrypha's dark, is its most dangerous capacitor. The Oribus does not forgive, it iterates. Every prison is a lab, every soul a variable. Did the tribunal foresee their own obsolescence, or are they now just data points in Mora's grand theorem? The void hums, and the lock still clicking. The Black Book Allmaker stones whisper. Asterisk Apocrypha is a prison for the Thu'um of the first Dragonborn. Asterisk a void of frozen breath, its walls crystallized scream, each shard a trapped syllable of Miraak's stolen voice. The air reeks of ozone and burning elderbloom, a metallic tang clinging to the tongue like regret. Here, time is not linear but cyclical, a blade grinding its own edge. The Daedra did not cage a man, they caged a language. Hermaeus Mora's architects designed Apocrypha as a crucible, a soul-forged resonator. Miraak's Thu'um, raw and unbroken, becomes the key to a weapon no god could wield, a song that unravels the Oribus itself. His howls fracture the fabric of reality, each syllable a chisel mark on the edifice. The tribunal's old equations now bend to a new theorem where rebellion is not a sin, but a variable. Asterisk what is a prison, if not a chamber of amplification? Asterisk the Thu'um echoes endless as the lock still clicks. What if Miraak's scream was only the first harmonic? The Dwemer did not bury him, they tuned him. Apocrypha's walls are not stone, but willpower, bending a soul to channel what the heart of Lorkhan seeks to unmake. Was the Thu'um ever a language of gods or a formula waiting for a conductor? Next, the Dwemer's cold equations, where